Hello and welcome to Africa Changers Forum. You are live with the Business AI Talk Show coming to you from our Facebook page, the Africa Changers Forum. Please go ahead and share from any part of the world you're watching us. I'm kind of relaxed today. I wasn't prepared, but you know, most times when you're not prepared, that's when you have all the tools you need. I'm guessing. Yeah, so today we're talking about changes. Changes. Let me put up that banner we posted just a little bit before now. Change your world. Title of the broadcast today is Changes. So please go ahead and share on all your platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and all over. As you all know, we've been doing this for some time now, and we decided to do new things every day. It is said that the most change is the only constant thing in life. Change is the only constant thing. It's the only thing that remains permanent. It's the only thing that remains permanent. So we're coming to you live today. My name is Shola Dele. I'm the host of the Business AI Talk Show. My co-host Ito Aitonje will be joining us any moment now. I want you to go share on all your platforms as we start. This will be a very interesting topic because I'm going through some changes myself now. You know, the funny thing about we human beings is that subconsciously we don't like changes. Ooh, changes? Make change? Especially to a road we've been on for years. And someone comes along and say, hey, you need to make a turn. You need to make a right turn or a left turn. All of a sudden, bro, I've been on this road for too long. I know this road. I know the ins and outs. I know everything about this road. Telling me not to make a change. Who are you in the first place? Where are you coming from? This place you're telling me to turn into. Do you know this area? I need someone that knows the area. So we're not used to change. We're not used to change. So on my right, to the right of my screen, changes. Change is very interesting. Can you imagine this collage? I believe it's beautiful. This collage on the right side of my screen, to your right, to your left, to the left side of your screen. I believe this collage is beautiful. I just created this collage in 3 minutes, just about an hour before the show. I'm like, "Woo, we want to talk about changes." Yeah, I think my brother is here now. Let me bring him on. One, two, three. There we go. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you? Oh,
I don't have my earphones on. Hello, how you doing?
I need to grab mine as well, so I'll be
Can you
clear.
hear me?
1 second. One,
Uh,
1 second.
can you hear me, brother? I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with you.
Uh,
Okay, he's trying to put on his. Let me go ahead and share this everywhere. Uh, I believe we're live on Facebook. Okay, I can't hear you yet. I still can't hear you, brother.
connect.
Uh,
Can you hear me now?
hello, can you speak up? I think I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can't. Oh! I know what is happening. Hey, baby, let me get that YouTube that Bluetooth headphones. Get me that Bluetooth headphone. And my brother, hold on 1 second.
All right.
Let my daughter get this. Yeah. Uh, this Bluetooth headphones, this crazy Bluetooth headphone, working instead of the one I have in my ear. So let me turn it off. Yeah, I think it's off now. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Good. Yeah. So that Bluetooth earphone was connected to this thing. So sorry about that.
Great.
All right. We are live, and I'm kind of like putting up the I hope people can see us. Let me see. I hope people can see us on Facebook and other places. Just trying to make sure it's good on my end. I'm gonna share
Mhm.
this on Facebook now. Uh, I'm glad we have a good connection on your end, so we can hear you clearly. I believe our viewers too can hear you. So we're talking about changes. My brother, you want to make your opening statement on changes? You can see the collage that is in the middle of us, me and you, it's in our middle. That collage is
Yes.
has some wonderful human beings there. And before we start mentioning their names, most people know their names already. You can see after we finished talking is when I created this, and I am kind of like proud of myself for creating something beautiful like this. And I wrote under the photos, "Change your world." So it's a kind of like clarion call. It's a challenge to everybody watching us today. So what are your opening statements, my brother?
Well, change is good. The only constant, as they say, is change.
Yep, yep.
Human beings like to fight change a lot. We
That's right.
need change. It's mostly not comfortable when change comes, and we tend
Right.
to want this, but change is inevitable. We can't do without change. We must learn to embrace change.
Right. Right. And yeah, go ahead.
Yes, and wisdom is to prepare, as it is said, and preparation for change is
Oh, to
what.
always prepare for change, right?
Yes, we must always prepare for change and be ready to embrace change. We should never be scared, to go with the flow of change
That's
because
right.
therein lies our growth, therein lies our progress, therein lies our future. It's a change. Nature built change into everything. God built change into everything. Everything changes.
Right.
However, you know. So it's a concept that everyone must understand, take to heart, and apply on a daily basis.
That's
Yes.
right. All right. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let me see if I can enlarge this collage you have in our middle, in the middle of us, for people to see. My brother, you may not hear me, but I just want to expand the collage and see, let people see it clearly on the screen. Yeah, if y'all can hear me, yeah, you can see the collage made by Maker, an app on Microsoft Store. So they always want their credits. That's it right there. Four gentlemen here, amazing shot there, and I believe those are world changes. Every last one on that collage in your world, in your world. So we're talking about changes today. And for everybody that is watching us today, we want you to understand that change is so vital. Change is so important that, like my brother just said now, we have to prepare for change. That is, change is not is not only important, but we have to prepare for it every day. And it's funny that we came up with this topic, and my brother, I was sharing with you some changes I made in my head. The crazy thing about what happens to me is that I'm so used to change. I'm so used to change that there are some changes I want to make, but there are some changes that just hit me, and I'm like, I just have to do it. There's some changes that just hit me. I'm like, I just have to do it, or I just have to allow this change to transmit through me. It's like the radio waves. The radio wave hits a repeater station. When the radio wave hits a repeater station, what does the repeater station do? It transmits the waves onto the next repeater station. So I see myself like a repeater station that these waves come, hit me, I have to transmit it. So when I called you and told you about the things I'm planning to do, I know it came as a surprise to you, but I believe it came as a surprise to me myself.
Always,
And here,
always ready for change.
you said what?
I am always ready for change.
Amen. That's why we are on the same wavelength, right? So so he came, and here we are. We're talking about changes. I need to put the caption right here. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. I need to put the captions right here for everybody to see. So changes. We have changes as our topic today. For me, you have opened the floor by talking about it. For me, change has always been part of my life. Because growing up, growing up, nothing seemed to be constant with me, especially after my dad married my stepmom. So changes have been a constant in my life. One thing is you can have a good, you can have a family where you have the mom, the dad, the kids, and everything. You have everybody together, and everything goes year after year, decades after decades. Everything is smooth, everything is good. There are no changes. But in my case, growing up with my dad and my mom and my brothers and my sister, by the age of 8, change came. The change came that my mom left home. My mom was separated from my dad, and my stepmother came. So that is one change right there. That was a heavy, heavy change, and the change was heavy. As a child, that change was really heavy. That's one thing. But the other changes that followed that was that, hey, I have to say this. I have to just say this out there. My stepmom was the meanest, baddest, I don't know. As a child, then, most wicked human being I've ever encountered up till now that I'm up to this age. So, so uh, the change of my mom leaving, that was a big change. But when my stepmother now came in, she came to become the most meanest human being I've ever experienced, the most wicked human being I've ever experienced. And because of her coming into family, nothing remains the same. Nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same apart from the emotional, psychological, physical abuse that I suffered for 14 years and my siblings and all that. Apart from that, nothing else remained the same in the house. So, change became part of my life. You're not sure of what is going to happen next. You're not sure of if you're going to get a whoop in the next minute. you're not you're not sure if you're going to be kicked out of the house. I was eventually kicked out of the house at the age of I think 2021, and that's the best thing that ever happened to me. That is what made me who I am today. So for me, change is personal and change goes deep and goes way back for me. Change is part of my life. So I am 10 times, 10 steps ahead, ready for a change that is going to happen the next day. I'm 10 times ready. That is, my mind is made of 10 steps ready for the next change. And I'll tell you, my brother, for those of us watching, this is what has made me to survive through everything. That is, oh boy, I've survived. God has helped me, when I also, became a Christian. That is a change as well. For those of you that are Christians, you understand what I'm saying. When you become a follower of Jesus Christ, that is the biggest change anyway. Apart from birth, that's the biggest change. So when you become a Christian, you become a follower of Jesus Christ, which I became years back, is the biggest change. So change is so important that the instrument we're using to broadcast today is as a result of changes. A young man decided that, oh, I know how to write codes. Then these codes I'm writing, let me just make it into a website to connect all my undergraduates, all my friends in the college. Let me connect them and we'll be able to communicate. And he followed through with that plan. He was making changes. He was making changes. That's why we have this platform today called Facebook. So that is change is so important. It is so relevant. When you don't change, here's the thing. Here's the thing for everybody listening to us. I need to put this on uh, my page on Facebook right quick. Sorry, one second. The thing is, we either change. Here is it now. We either change or changes us. Am I putting it right? We either change, we either conform to change, or we either, like my brother said, we either prepare for change, or change comes and moves us. For example, by the time I sleep tonight and I wake up and tomorrow morning, God willing, by the time I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm no more the same person I was tonight. Why?
Sure.
Because I've grown. Cells in my brain have divided.
Mhm.
According to medical science, it says the brain cells multiply till we die, or they divide till we die, or they grow till we die, or something. I can't remember. But human cells die, new ones are produced. So even if you don't understand change, if you are not used to change, you are not prepared for change. Change is taking place.
Mm.
So the best thing for us is to understand that change is permanent. Change is permanent. So to explain to us, to talk about change today, I decided to put up the images of these four men. Only one of them is alive. And most people, those of us in Africa, will know the one on the end. Uh, I think I'll let my brother start about talking about this man uh, before I now, continue. But that is change. That's the way I see change. There's more deep things we'll be talking about change and changes and why you need to change watching us today. Why you need to change, not only change, but prepare for change. Over to you, my brother.
Right. Well done. Thank you so much for that. It's really a topic for the hour, I must say. Yes, given everything at play. Our discussion earlier on privately, and now showcasing these four wonderful men. I like to take my cue from Nelson Mandela.
All right, all right. Right there. Go ahead, brother.
He's my hero. I mean, he was one of the people I always learned a lot from him, even before reading his book. His story alone is just
The story alone, right?
yes. So, Mr. Nelson Mandela, as we know, was the one man that fought a battle with his life. He was ready to die. In fact, he said a courtroom that
Right,
this is a journey or this is a mission that I've embarked on. I'm using my own words, and I
right,
am ready to do anything, even if it means that I die.
right,
You see, change is what really defines us as human beings. Now,
right,
when a man has staked his life to say, I must get this done
right.
or I die, that means this man is ready for anything. And
That's
of
right.
all kinds of changes will begin to take place. In his case, he was thrown in jail. We all know the story very well, almost 27 years. He wouldn't back down. It's like, this is why I'm alive. I have to make this change. I have to make it. I mean, I'm sure that long after he was thrown into jail, 5, 10, 15 years, most people would have thought, what's wrong with this guy? This is never going to happen. Why does
Right.
he concede defeat and come out a free man? I was like, no, I'd rather die here. See, this is the whole point, or one of the biggest points I can make, or anyone can really make about change. Take your life to a mission and be ready to go through the roller coaster. Come rain, come shine. There will be changes. It will be painful. It will be uncomfortable. It will be confusing. You will be disliked. You'll be hated. You'll be ostracized. The list goes on. You are going
Right.
through that's going to make you the person you were created to be. It never comes cheap.
Right.
So please, if you're
Thank you,
going,
brother Raphael.
oh, well done.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you,
please.
brother. Yeah. So if you're going
Hey,
through,
Pam Sam, how you doing? Go
yeah,
ahead, please.
that's, yeah, going through any pain at the moment, any inconvenience, any ostracizing,
You see your
you know,
friend, Sonny
I'm
Odaro.
very blessed, guys. Whatever you're going through, change is inevitable. Embrace it. Back to Nelson Mandela. I mean, this is a true hero.
Right.
This is a true hero who understood the meaning of change,
So
who
I'll
understood.
let you, I'm sorry to cut you, I'll let you talk about Nelson Mandela, then I'll take the next person, then we'll round up, we'll finish
Yeah,
up like that. Go ahead.
yeah. Okay. And Nelson Mandela, of course, he's tattooed his name and what he's done in the hearts of most people living.
Yes, sir. Across the world.
Absolutely. Because he understood what it means to embrace change. He understood what it meant to go through pain, suffering, being misunderstood, whatever.
Right.
God, take a cue from that.
Right.
And this is exactly, and if you want to look back, anybody, just look back at your life, even back to 1 year ago. You'll be shocked at how
Right.
much has taken place in your life or you have made. It
Yes,
might be
sir.
might look like nothing is happening. Yes, even the big part or the bigger part or the biggest part. It is the internal changes that you don't see. That's the main one. That's
The
what
internal changes. Are you saying
inside
inside of us or
of us. Yes,
okay?
mentally. You understand? That's where the game is really being played. Whatever you're
Mm,
seeing out there is
mm,
to play out. It's the small fry, if you ask me. It's
right.
what's on within you. That's
Mm, mm,
league soccer.
mm.
You understand?
Yes.
I keep making reference to myself. I keep saying what I have learned in the last 6 years, which has been like back-breaking challenges. It's so much more than the rest of my, how many years am I now? The rest of my 40, plenty years. You know what
That's
I mean?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I, of course, I have engaged into the change gear for a long time, but things began to take an unusual pace, tempo, speed in the last 6 years. And you look like all hell is breaking loose, or you're going to die, or you love so much, challenges everywhere. And look, when I look back now, I am so proud of the last 6 years of my life more than all the others put together.
Mm, mm, mm,
Growth
mm.
taking place in these 6 years, my goodness, it's like 100 years growth. It's
Right.
made me more aware, confident, strong, fearless, daring, pulling forward, more forgiving, kind, loving, everything. You
Mm,
understand?
right.
It, it's been absolutely crazy. And that's what Mr. Mandela did. Everyone would have expected that when he came out of jail, he would have been mad with all the people that threw him in jail. There's one underlying message. It might sound quiet for some people that he kept preaching. He kept talking about forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
That's not the loud part of the message of Mandela that most people know. But if you read his story very well, he was always preaching forgiveness.
Mm,
For, he had nothing against the people who threw him in jail. In other words, thank you guys. You made me who I am.
Mm.
And that's the same for everything we're all facing right now. I'm sure there are many people listening right now, or you will listen to that recorded. You might be feeling hard done by now by whatever challenges you're facing in your work, in your
Right.
business,
Right.
marriage, you know what I mean? In
Right.
whatever, in your leadership, you might be,
Had
attacked,
nothing against the people. Right.
demoted.
In other words, thank you.
Something is clashing. Okay, just
Yeah, go
take
ahead.
it. Keep a positive mind. Know that whatever the challenges that's coming your way right now, it has come to promote you to the next level. Is it harsh? Yes, it's supposed to be. Is it bitter? Absolutely. It's never sweet when these challenges come. They stretch you to make you the better person that you were always meant to be. Take it up, brother.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. You touched on something that's so important for our viewers and everybody watching us now. We talk about changing your world. When you look at the middle of our screen, we have some phenomenal men. I'll be talking on the next person on the that is Martin Luther King, which resonates to everybody around the world, especially our brothers and sisters here in the United States. So I'll be talking about him. But because before I say that, I want to say I know Brother Raphael is watching today. This is a phenomenal brother doing some amazing things too. And I'm going to talk about somebody that is not on this lineup. His name is Showore. Showore is a political activist. I see him as a political activist in Nigeria. And I want to console Brother Raphael, who's been doing so much regarding Showore and all that, to tell him that, listen, I'm going to tie what Brother Itwa said to what is going on with Showore, Omo Yele Showore, I think. I'm going to tie it to him. Also, I'm going to tie it to Mandela and also Martin Luther King.
Hmm.
Brother Itwa said, change. The most important change is the one that happens inside of us. So there's a saying that says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." I think it's Mother Teresa or somebody that said that. Say, "Be the change you want to be in the world." So here is the thing: for us to change the world, for us to change anything around us, we have to allow change in the inside. To allow change in the inside. So my way of consoling my brother Raphael about Showore is to say, listen, though he's incarcerated, not really incarcerated, he's been held by the government of the country right now. But what is going on to him now, inside of him now, is being changed.
Yeah.
This is what happened to Mandela. Mandela was inside for how many years? So if you say you want to make social change, this is what is usually happens to you. There'll be a time that changes will occur inside of you, so that when you come out, the moment you come out, your impact on the world is undeniable.
Correct.
So talking about the next person on our list is Martin Luther King. You see, we are talking about these men that have impacted our lives. We are talking about these men. For me, right now, because I put up this collage, and no matter what, like my brother Ito identified Mandela as is so much of an inspiration to him. No matter who you are, especially as a black person, one of these men would have inspired you one way or the other. So another great man we're looking at here is Martin Luther King. What moves me the most about Martin Luther King is non-violent way of changing the society. That's what moves me. That's what moves me the most about Martin Luther King. Non-violent. You see, a lot of people come and they want to use violent means. And let me tell you one thing about people that want to use violent means that I know, especially in Africa. You will find out that the change they want to make in the society, what is blocking that change usually is either a government in power, a king, or whatever. And these people always hold power through violence, through the power of the sword or something like that. What I know about people that go through violent means of trying to change is that, believe it or not, they will start with good motives, but before you know it, because they are using violent means and violent instruments, they now become like the people they are trying to save their people from. They now become like them or they become worse. Because the instruments of violence is they are instruments of power. And instruments of violence are instruments of power. And they say power corrupts and power corrupts absolutely. Power is like a drug you take. Once you take it, you want more.
mm,
Once you take it, you want more. And that has happened so many times in Africa. So Martin Luther King, oh man, this man, this man is an angel that God sent. He's like an angel that God sent to earth to make changes, you know. And I believe, I'm not sure now. I think uh, Mandela drew inspiration from Martin Luther King, or Martin Luther King drew inspiration from Mandela. I don't know their age difference that time, how active they were, but the struggle that was going on in Africa and the struggle that was going on in America here, I think they were drawing strength from each other. And you know, these are the people that God used to kind of like uplift our people from that state they were back then. There's so much to be done. A lot of people are talking about so many things. I will be talking about the next thing I'm doing in a moment. But Martin Luther King came on the scene and he preached nonviolence. And he's a preacher. I'm so happy about that too. He's a preacher. He came with nonviolence and he preached nonviolence, and he just kept talking to people. And people started, amplifying what he was saying. He said, one of the things he said, I was sharing with somebody recently, he said, I'm looking for a country where my kids are not judged by their appearance, but by the content of their character. So for you to know the content of somebody's character, you have to be close to the person. So you don't have to prejudge somebody. That is why I make whoever is listening to make them understand that I live above this. I live above color. What I do is to know someone and know the content of their character. The reason I'm doing what I'm doing now and what I'm going to do after now is because as a black person, I know God has made changes inside of me, and I look from the perspective of God. God look at humanity, white, black. He look at us and say, "Why are these people fighting?" It's like we human beings make a Toyota in different colors: red, yellow, blue, black. Then red Toyota start to fight against blue Toyota. Blue Toyota start to fight against black Toyota. He that creates the Toyota, we're saying, what is this madness? Toyota, you're all the same now. The only thing is because of the way I am as a God, I decide to paint you in different colors because I love colors. I love
love,
variety.
mm,
So now you are Toyota 2019. The difference is just the coating I put on you guys. So why are you fighting? So I look at us human beings like that. But when I look at us as human beings like that at the same time, I realize that our black people are the ones that have not really gotten that shot. They have been kind of like left behind. So, and just like Jesus will always do, he will gravitate to those that are less privileged. So I see that my people are less privileged. I myself am less privileged, my brother. So
mm.
let me see what I can do to help my people. Like one of the gentlemen on the list, Clarence Evans. I'll be talking about him, but I'll let you talk about anyone you choose. But I think I know a little bit more about him. But let's see
Yeah,
how that goes.
that's your man. You know more about him. Yes.
So
Yeah.
Martin Luther King was able to come through nonviolence and just pray. And you find out that people of all colors even joined his movement. It's not only black people that joined the movement, though.
True.
It's not only the black people that joined the movement of Martin Luther King, though. People of all colors. So
Mm.
what are we saying? Martin Luther King is an icon in American history that he pained me so much that the last time I went to Washington, I couldn't find my way to his statue. But statue is a great thing, but the what his work in my heart already has inspired me. So Martin Luther King is someone that resonates with all my brothers here, African Americans, and they understand the struggle of Martin Luther King, and he has made so much impact in the life of our people here, and it's amazing. That is a great man, and for him to say those words that I look for a future, I look for a nation where my kids will be able to move freely. We have seen that in America is increasing. We're not there yet. It's not perfect, but things are getting. I believe things are getting better. For me to even come to the United States, it means there is changes. For me to be able to live here and work here is a lot of work. The work that Martin Luther King and others like him. You know, Martin Luther King is the general icon, but there are so many others under him here in the United States that have done great things, even since from the beginning when our people were brought here as slaves. So Martin Luther King changed his world, and we are experiencing that change now. We appreciate that. So we want you watching us today, Sister McCrane. Thank you. Sister McCrane is here. She's saying not by color of skin, but by content of the character. Thank you for that stuff there. Brother Raphael, hear what you say. Chivalry is also not non-violent. Revolution now is non-violent. Yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, so Martin Luther King uh, signifies for us, he represents to us change. And he has been able to change the life of everybody, not just black people, but specifically black people all over the world. We look up to him in America and for those of our people all over the world. So, my brother, you can go ahead and take the next one.
Well, just to share a bit more on Martin Luther King for the
Yes, sir.
amazing work that he did on planet Earth, and it's the point of fearlessness in the face of death again. And
Yes, my people are communicating with each other here. Raphael is communicating to Sister McLean. Yeah, go ahead, my brother. Sorry.
that's what I really love about him. If we claim to believe in something, let's be ready to die for that thing. Just like he eventually died making the change. Now, here is the big point. Did he achieve it? Some person of low understanding might think he didn't because he died.
Mm,
It's just like thinking that Jesus did not fulfill his commission because he died. He kept teaching, I came to die, Jesus said.
yeah,
So, play. This might be a very strong one for some of us, but here is the point because it is precisely the decision I have made. I'm looking for that thing that I love to do so much that can kill me.
whoa,
Yes,
that's tough. Is it you saying that?
yes,
That's a tough one.
yes. I mean, some of the things you've heard me say to you in the private and all that. Look, I know what I'm waiting for. I know why it looks like I'm quiet and I'm, taking the backstage. If it's not crazy, it doesn't get exciting.
Right,
Yes, that's why I like the young man Showore that you've just mentioned.
right,
I said this in my other broadcasts. I've talked about him so much in my other broadcasts. We can question his tactics all we like. We can question the readiness. We can question how robust the team was. He wanted to do all that. Yes, there will always be room to question. However, he's written his name in history like most people will never do. He staked his existence on what he truly believes. Again, I repeat, question his tactics. I do too. Oh, maybe he should have. But look, that's a fearless young man who's ready to die for what he
mm,
believes. That's a world changer.
right,
That's a Martin Luther King in make
mm,
in a younger form or in today's world. Or that's a Nelson Mandela, you know, in today's world. This is what we must all embrace. I see it as
right,
ex when we begin to take on such challenges, to say, look, who cares? This is why I'm alive. You know, I think
right,
it's a vision of that is so um, um, important that we must all hold there, be ready to stake our existence for something that we believe to change the world.
right,
Because we're changing your world. We must do that. Because if you don't, life will pass you by.
That's true.
Because everybody, people complain, oh, this and that and this. I think the question we all should be asking ourselves is, what change am I really making in society?
Right.
What am I really staking my existence on to say, I have to see this change made before I die? And I'm ready to die in the process. That's what makes heroes, as far as I understand. That's what begins to make this very important, unseen change will be going on internally in you to make you the person that you are. Mandela, in his book, eventually, he found out who he was
Right.
long after he was incarcerated and forgotten about. That's when he really found out who he was, Mandela himself. So all what was out there was, of course, he had an idea, but the real finding out who he was. And that's exactly what's going on with Showore right now. I was saying a friend of his here in London who's very close to him. I said, well, he has really shown he can do this, but I think God has just set him on a journey of
Right.
self-discovery. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because this is now what is really him, how he responds to these processes that he's going through now, how he goes through this, his mindset, his loving heart for Nigeria, his forgiveness for the people that have thrown him in jail. And they never say that we're going to do it. And now, yes, this is a big point I must mention. Yeah. And I say this to
Right.
everyone, all his friends, all his aides, all his partners. Please, what, as I said, he has written his name in history. Nobody can take that away from him. He is a true activist. He's a hero. This is the point.
Yeah, that's his photo right there.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know him, you can, sorry, Brother Raphael, you can Google him. He has been held in one of countries of Africa. That's his name right there, and that's his photo on the extreme. Google him and know more about him. We're talking about changes and people that are making changes in their generation. So there he is right there. Go ahead, my brother.
Yes. So, of course, when he
You
does
are
get
still on
out,
Martin Luther King too, though. But go ahead.
when he does get out,
Right,
going to be a wiser man, a more experienced person, and his tactics would have to change somehow. You know, the clamoring for presidency, as I advised his friend, is not what it is. It's not the main thing. That's good. I personally do not think that the presidency of Nigeria, handling that office, is what's going to change Nigeria. No. The whole system is flawed.
mm,
And I say this to strengthen him to carry on with the fight that he's fighting. He is a good fight. We are all members of that gang. Some of us may seem like we are hiding somewhere. We are not. We are all doing that same work in our different way, shapes, and forms.
right,
When he comes, he shouldn't be clamoring for president. He will be president if he's going to be when the time comes. And I'm
right.
saying it more robust so that he can gather more people as he continues to fight. Yes, of course, people will always be criticized, and that's some of the say, oh, he mustn't clamor for that. So gather everybody together. Whoever's president is going to be the president. What we need is a new Nigeria. Who cares who is local government chairman? Who cares who is what's the other position that's not even up to that? Council or whatever they call it. Who cares? We want a free Nigeria, and that we are going to achieve. So, Mr. Showore, and to all the aides and partners and friends of Mr. Showore, all praying for you. We all believe in this call, and we are all fighting in this call to freedom together. Thank you, brother. Take it off from there. You want to
Thank
open
you
this up?
so much, my brother. Thank you for joining us. We're still talking about changes, uh, how to make a change in your life and
Sorry to interrupt.
internally. Go ahead.
Brother Raf, I just saw something flashed on my screen. Sorry to interrupt you there. Thanks for that comment, and God bless you. We'll connect.
Yes. Yeah, so we're talking about changes. This is coming to you live from Africa Changers Forum. We are on the Business AI talk show, and even in business, changes, changes, changes. There is no change, you'll be left behind. Amazon is leading because Amazon is making innovative changes every day. I was at Walmart recently buying something at Walmart. Then I met, I was inside of Walmart, picked what I wanted to buy, and I was going to look for where to check out. Then I saw this gentleman. He looked at me and said, "Hey, I can check you out." I'm like, "Oh, really?" This man had a device on his hand. Instead of me going to check out where the cashier is, where I use my card, they check me out, they scan my stuff. As you are going around the store, you see one of these people, they have a kind of uniform, say, "Hey, please check me out." So you don't need to go to the checkout and be in line. So he just right there checked me out. And we started talking. The funny thing is that he works for Walmart and was telling me how Amazon is number one in sales and all that. Oh, and all this happens because they make changes every day. Walmart is not letting their guards down at all themselves with that innovation already. That I'm walking through the store, I'm ready to check out. I can check out from any part of the store. So we're talking about changes. This is coming to you from the Business AI talk show of the Africa Changers Forum. Please join our group. I put the link on the screen. I'll put it again. Join our group. Invite people to join our group. We'll be talking shortly about the next phase, the next thing I'm about to do right now. And my brother maybe will talk about what he is up to now, or maybe in the next broadcast. But now we're going to the next person on the screen on the lineup today. He's called Clarence Evans. Let me write his name down. Make sure I get it right. Clarence Evans. Clarence Evans is another phenomenal human being. Of those that are alive as African Americans in the United States that are making impact. I'm not saying everybody's not making, everybody, a lot of people are making impact. Recently, I listened to Killer Mike and T.I. Some of you know T.I. The crazy thing about we Africans is that we always believe it's those our pastors that are making the changes in the world. That's the funny thing because Africans are so religious and superstitious, uh, uh, are so religious and superstitious. They always they don't even think about anybody else but their pastors. So they think their pastors are the one that is making the change. They're making all the change in their life. But come to think of it, as we see recently, we have seen and heard recently. I don't like to mention people's names. As we have seen and heard recently, well, the pastors are just there to collect your money. Are just there to collect your money. So when we talk of real changers, people that are changing lives in the world, we're talking about this kind of men. I'm not saying there are no pastors. I'm not saying there are no pastors that are making changes in the world, in the lives of people. But for the most part, I would say 90% of the pastors we have that are alive today, they're just there to collect the people's money and milk them dry, as we have seen and also heard recently. So we're drawing inspiration. This man here, this man here on the third of the lineup. His name is Clarence Evans. Since I've come to the United States of America, I've never seen anybody that have impacted my life like this man. That is who is alive. He's still alive. He's in his 80s, I believe. I've never heard someone like this. I've never seen anybody like him in America. There are great men here, our African American great leaders, but I've not seen the one that have changed, that have inspired change, elevated the status of the Black community like this man, Clarence Evans. If you want to know more about him, just go on Netflix and search for the documentary called The Black Godfather. The Black Godfather. For those of you in America watching now, go look for The Black Godfather on Netflix. Then you know who Clarence Avant is. He is a silent man. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know too much about him. But Sean Diddy Combs, Sean Combs, that is P Diddy, and other people in the entertainment industry, even up to politicians, Barack Obama, Clinton, everybody. This man's life has impacted them and changed their life, and you will see them testify. You will see them testify about how he has changed their lives in America here, up to uh, civil rights leaders, all kind of people. This man is a change agent. That's why we put him on the lineup. A lot of people won't even know who he is because he's on the lineup there and you don't know him. His name is Clarence Avant. I know nothing about him until Netflix brought him out. He's always that kind of a person that will always want to be behind the scene, always want to be behind the scene. And his goal in life, his vision in life is to elevate. He said he wants to move our people forward, move our people forward. When I say our people, in everywhere, any way, shape, or form. And this is the man that is ready to walk across. He's not bothered about color. He's not bothered about race. Everything he can do, so long as you will see all kind of people or people of all races testifying about him. Bill Clinton, he has helped. He has helped all kind of human beings. His daughter was one of Obama's ambassador, I think, to the Bahamas. So this is one of the change agents in America. He's not too known like that, but the people that matter in America, the people that know who is who, they know him. You cannot uh, penetrate Hollywood. You cannot penetrate the political realm, the political corridors of power in America. You cannot move around America in the places of power and influence without hearing his name. And this man has dedicated his life to helping people way back, almost 5 to 6 decades ago. Clarence Evans. The name is up there. You guys go and look him up and know much more about him. What are we doing today? Trying to bring up this amazing human beings on the screen today. We're doing this because I draw inspiration from people like this. And when I listen to the things they have said, when I read the things they have written, when I examine, x-ray their lives, I get inspiration that I'm not just here for show. I didn't come on this earth just to come and play. I didn't come on this earth to just come and, you know, be among the crowd. I came here for a purpose and I have to leave something on this earth that my descendants and people following me will say, oh, this man actually lived, and these are the changes he made. Just like we're talking about this man today. What is life if you are not living it for a cause? What is life? David said, is there not a cause? In the Bible, he said, is there not a cause? I'm a young man, nobody knows me. They are all fighting the battle, but I am here to fight this giant and I'm going to bring him down. Is that not the cause? So, as my brother said, he's looking for something that he's going to do that could take his life, or if I'm not paraphrasing. Let me say some, let me say one funny thing about what he said. I have this comedian, his name is Shula King in America here. I follow him. What you just said, that you're looking for a cause so big that you're ready to give your life or it will take your life, you know. This comedian, they showed these two guys, I think they were in the police interrogation room or something like that. So this guy now said, yeah, I'm ready to die, I'm ready to face this and that, and my homie here is ready to die with me and all that. As he said, my homie here is ready to die with me. The homie looked like this, the expression in his face.
Excuse me.
This is my ride and die, homie. The expression in his face.
As
They,
if
they captured the expression, and this my comedian, my latest comedian, Shula King, now made a video on that. Say, boy, what you just said, that guy is telling you, what? When did we discuss that? Who's going to write that? So what you said made me remember that But it's amazing that what you said made me remember what I said about myself too. That I'm looking for a cause. I'm looking for a purpose. I'm looking for something big enough that I can dedicate the rest of my life to. I've been searching for that, and sometimes you think you're found it. Sometimes you are one thing you're doing leads you to the
Change.
next one. So you just keep going, and before you know it, you have lived your life the way God has planned it for you. You may not know, but so Clarence Evans is someone that has impacted the whole of America. You will not believe it. Especially, this is a man that helped. There's this man that broke Babe Ruth's record, baseball. Babe Ruth is known all over America as the one with the highest innings or something like that, scores or something. But there's this man that was going to break Babe Ruth's record. I forgot the name now. Clarence Evan called him and said, "Hey, you're about to break Babe Ruth's record. I want to help you to make money out of this." And before you know, he took this man to Atlanta, took him to Coca-Cola headquarters and said, "Hey, listen, this is a black man. He's about to break Babe Ruth's record. What are you going to do about him?" Before you know it, Coca-Cola signed a contract with this man. This man made unimaginable amount of money that he went ahead and set up a foundation that today that foundation is over 40 years old, giving scholarship to black kids all over America. That is one of the things Clarence Evans did. So you guys go look Clarence Evans up on Google and know more about him. Get inspired. Talking about changes today with my brother Itua from London, England. I'm your host, Shola Dele. And we have one more person on the lineup to talk about. I don't know if you want to talk about, hey,
Why not? Why not?
Abamieda.
Ah,
For those of you that don't know who the last one on our lineup
yeah.
is, Abamieda, that's what we call it. So go ahead, my brother, talk about him. And I'm going to talk about him too. Go ahead, please.
On him. This is, I mean, he was an enigma, you know. He- oh yes, oh yes. I mean, from childhood, we all grew up listening to his music. We didn't quite understand the philosophy then at the time.
Right,
We're all still
right.
like under, 10 years old, and yeah, because I was listening to Fela from the very early 70s, 1975, six, you know so forth and so on, 77. And then, but this is a guy he was a satiric, is this a satirical? Yes, he was a satirical uh, artist. In other words, he sang about the ills of society so much. He was
Mm,
fierce.
mm,
He, he was never afraid to attack the government of the day because of all the ills, all the corruption, all the
right.
madness that's going on in Nigeria. Corruption has always been in Africa. People these days they want to sound like it started today. No, far back over 40 years ago, Fela Anikulapo Kuti was already on that mission. You know, calling names,
Right.
singing, and we all know all those tracks. I'm not going to be mentioning all that here, but as I grew up, I picked up the philosophy of Fela's music, what he was about. He was a change agent. He wanted
Mm,
change so badly. He wanted to see corruption destroyed. He wanted to see
mm,
oppression erased from our society.
mm,
He sang
mm.
so bad that he was always in a fight with Obasanjo and Yaradua and the army. And I mean, he tormented them so much with his music. They even had to go down his house once,
Right.
his mother down from upstairs and, all sorts of things, So this was an agent of change who was not scared, to step out and make a difference,
Right.
in the lives of people. He fought that battle so hard, so long. Of course, as I said, he was attacked. He was, his house was destroyed. He incurred losses, but that wouldn't make him stop. He kept on keeping on, as I say, kept on keeping on. And you may want to question, oh, what impact did he make? Hey, hey, hey.
Oh, go ahead.
If anybody asks that question, my simple advice to you is go and listen to his music properly, and just think for yourself, and then you can answer for yourself what impact he made. I'm not going to answer that for you, because that would just mean you have either not listened to his music and have not really thought about yourself as a human being, where
Right,
you come and what's happening, you know.
right,
And I think Fela embodied, captured the African context so well. He saw ahead of most people. In fact, it was like he lived ahead of his time. He saw so far ahead beyond what most people could see of what was happening in Nigeria and, of course, in Africa. See, so he's one of those great heroes. You can question his lifestyle, question, look, who is perfect? The point is, he had a message for the world. Yeah, of course, he had a message for the black race, and he delivered it well and nice.
wow.
Rest in peace, fella. Take it up, brother.
Thank you, Pam Sam. She mentioned the name of the baseball player, Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron. I want to really publicly thank Pam Sam. Pam Sam is my African American sister here. Let me call her my African sister, born in America. She kind of like is pretty much our link. She's one of my links with our people here. She's doing amazing things for the community here in Houston. I'm following her. She's following me. We're just doing this thing together. Uh, I'm saying we met at Starbucks a while back, and this uh, amazing lady is doing great things in business, and she's come on our show already. Anyway, she's talking about Aaron, Hank Aaron, the baseball player. Pam Sam also said, I'm putting that up. She's talking about Fela. So Pam Sam know about Fela. You have to know about Fela, man. If you know a little bit about Africa, like particularly Nigeria, you must know about Fela, the movement of the people. Yeah, with all tracks like Unknown Soldier, Yellow Fever. Oh, you can remind me, brother, all kind of, East of No Nation, all kind of, you know, this man, like you said, is an enigma. This man is music. Okay, to bring it home for us, especially those of us in America right now. Some of you have heard Rotimi. Rotimi is a singer who used to be on the 50 Cent's Power Power series. Rotimi is Nigerian of Nigerian parents. He's going all around the US singing now. And also we have Burna Boy. Burna Boy is from Port Harcourt. I'm also a Port Harcourt boy. I spent about 15 years in Port Harcourt. These two guys are singing all their songs, whatever they're doing now, is coming from the roots of what Fela started, Afrobeats.
Hmm.
They are using Afrobeats, especially Burna Boy. Burna Boy, all that he's singing is even using Fela, some of his lyrics. According to the story, Burna Boy's dad was one of Fela's, is he his manager? Or one of his crew members? He was either Fela's manager or his band leader or something like that. But anyhow, Burna Boy's dad worked for Fela. So Burna Boy, if you listen to a song now, everything, the beats, the rhythm, everything is came out of what Fela built. Fela built his own music genre, the music genre called Afrobeats. Afrobeat is a different music genre that is with the rhythm, the beats, and everything. Not only that, if you listen to some of Fela's interview, Fela said music can be used to change the society. That what he used music to do, that music is the instrument he uses to bring to the public the sufferings of the black people. That is what is happening in the society, especially in respective countries during apartheid in South Africa. Fela's music was resonating there. Fela's music, they were using it to make social changes. Fela is like can never be forgotten. His music penetrated all sphere of society. When I was growing up, all the songs. We used to have a driver then. My dad had a driver. His name is Bola. We call him Boda Bola. He's the one that really brought Fela to us. Just like my brother said, a lot of people didn't understand Fela when he was coming up. They said this, they felt this was just a stubborn man just trying to make trouble all over the place. But when people start to listen to his music and start to see what was happening to him, they start to understand and follow his movement. Fela to some people is a prophet.
Mhm.
If you listen to Fela's songs, some of you that have heard Burna Boy, you've heard Rotimi singing, all these youngsters singing all over the place. You have not heard anything. Go and listen to Fela. Fela started all these things. They are even getting from, they're building what they're building out of Afrobeats. You need to listen to Fela to know what changes, what things this man said, what he said in his music. So Fela is also someone that have made changes that have, that have impacted, the Black community, both in Africa and all over the world. That's our Facebook page. Join us, Africa Changers Forum. Please go ahead and share all over the place. Right now, with few minutes that we have, like I talked about, changes is going everywhere, and I love change. I'm always prepared for change, and I'm going to share with us quickly changes that I am making. I am coming up with a new effort to affect our culture, to affect our people. And I'm going to bring it up right now. Okay, Sister, I don't know. Sister McCrane is saying something. I don't know. Who is that? Haruna Kwada Johanna. I don't know who she's talking about, but I think she's talking about something there. Okay. All right. I'm going to talk about the next thing I am doing for the community. And now I want to focus on the community. When I talk about the community, I want to focus on Africans and African Americans. And because I'm located in the United States here, I'm starting something that is targeted at African Americans and Africans, particularly Africans in the United States. Let me bring it up here. I'm starting a new channel on YouTube. It's coming on, and there it is. Culture shock. Culture shock. My brother, you can see I just designed this after our conversation. I just designed this. So for those of you watching now, this is the new effort. This is a new thing I'm starting outside of this business AOI. It's called Culture Shock. Culture Shock. It's gonna be on YouTube. Let me put it. Let me write it there. Culture Shock on YouTube. So it's gonna be on YouTube, and I'm gonna say a little bit about it because we're almost out of time. Culture Shock YouTube. Yes. So that's the next effort of mine that is coming on Culture Shock on YouTube. I'm welcoming my husband. Oh, okay. Sister McCrane is welcoming her husband to the show. Thank you, Mr. Haruna. What's his name now? Mr. Haruna, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, my brother. Welcome so much. I want to appreciate you joining up. Thank you, Sister McCrane. That's amazing. Welcoming her husband on the show. That's awesome. All right. So my next effort, which is coming on YouTube, is called Culture Shock. Let me bring my photo down so that we can see it clearly. It's having come to America, yeah, I like us. It's in the middle now. Having come to America now, I'm somebody that kind of like pays attention to what is going on around me, especially in my society. In summary, I've come to America and I noticed that African Americans that are living in America and Africans that have come to America, immigrated to America, it's like they live in two different worlds. Let me explain it further. We have Chinese, we have the Chinese, Japanese, Italians, Germans, all kind of people, Mexicans that have come to America many years back. Chinese came during the railway when they were fixing the railway, and Japanese came not too many. Germans, all the kind of people come to America. They have lived here for generation to generation. We have fourth generations Italians, fifth generations Chinese, we have sixth generation Mexicans. All kind of people have come here. What I noticed is that when Chinese people that are coming to America for the first time, when they come to America, they will meet other Chinese people, maybe their uncles or people that have been living here for first, second, third generation. They will meet those people here. When they come and meet those people, immediately they are received and they are assimilated, they are integrated into the society. Before you know it, they let them know how to live in America, so many things about America. When the Germans who are coming for the first time, they meet people that are Germans, yeah, or let me say, people from South America, when they come here and meet others that have lived here for generations, when they come, they are quickly integrated so much that you don't know the difference between a Chinese person that just came yesterday from a Chinese person that have been living in America for decades. The only difference is that the inability to speak English. But what happens is that they are assimilated immediately. That happens for every other races but black people. So when I looked at that, I'm like, what is going on? That is why you will see that Africans come here. Africans cannot really relate to African Americans. We are all from the same place, but we can't really relate to one another. Africans have different misconceptions about African Americans. African Americans have different misconceptions about Africans. And I was doing a research before I came on air. Now I was doing a research to see how many Africans are in diaspora, how many black people are in diaspora. I come to realize that we have the highest population of black people, not even in America, but in Brazil. Brazil has the highest population of black people, not even America. I was thinking it's America. So what are we saying? But Africans in America, African Americans in America have made the most impact in the world. African Americans, black people in America have made the most impact in the world. And I am thinking that for us to unify, for us to move forward, for us to make impact, I think we need to understand each other. There are some cultural differences. I tell you, when I came here, culture shock. That's why the name of this program is called Culture Shock. So we'll be addressing different topics. Different topics. You can imagine back in the day, African Americans were calling Africans booty scratcher. Then up till today, you have Africans calling African Americans akata. So you see, there are so many different cultural. There's so much cultural differences. So we'll be coming up with different topics. For example, African fathers don't know how to express love to their children. They don't know how to express love to their children. They don't know how to say, I love you. My kids are here listening to me. I say it. They know I say it. Then on the other hand, what did he say? What did he say?
You are the first corporate.
No, I'm not like that. I said I express love to my kids every time, I come to the level and I express love to them. But African,
I want to ask one of them, pull him up.
You say what?
I said I want to ask your son.
Yeah, but you can't ask him on screen now. I don't want to bring him up. You can ask him when you talk to him. So there are cultural differences, African fathers, African parents don't know how to express love to their children. They don't know how to communicate with their children. I was talking with a young man. He said, "Oh, my dad is like a general. You can't even talk. You can't say nothing. You can't even express nothing to him. The only thing African parents know communicate with their children is, have you eaten? Go to bed. Do this, do that." They don't really. So on the other hand, African Americans wonder, why is it that African children come to America and before you know it, they excel in their school, they excel in this, they excel in that, this, that, that. One of the things I have noticed as an African is that African American parents don't know how to discipline. They don't know how to discipline and stand their ground when it comes to children. It's like the children are taking over most African American parents. Before you know, children want to do what they want to, you know. But in African parents, African homes, no, it's what the parents say that goes. And you know, so much that when they get to an age, you know, they take it off from there. Anyway, that is what Culture Shock is all about. We'll be talking about different kind of topics, shocking topics. So get ready, my people. Get ready. A lot of Africans come to America. They cannot even understand African Americans. For one, what I would say about African Americans is that these are people that were brought here not voluntarily. They came to America and they have survived. They have survived to this point. So we need to give them homage. We need to give them kudos for them to be able to survive to this point where we can take visa and come to America anyhow. For imagine there's no black person in America and you just appear in America for the first time. Do you know what will happen to you? Maybe the whole America is filled with white people and you appear in America for the first time. You know what will happen to you. But because these our people have been here for hundreds of years, they have been able to fight different kind of battles. And we now have, for example, Martin Luther King that we just put on our screen today. He did so many things that have made changes that now help Africans to come to America without stress, and they are living, they're enjoying the life, but people are paid the price for us to come. So there's so many cultural differences among these two groups of Africans that we want to start talking about it. For example, African Americans, the first thing that happened to African Americans when they came to America is that they lost their identity by losing their names. We're going to be talking about that. How you can start finding your way back to Africa, picking up African names and stuff, and all kind of things. We're talking about all this on Culture Shock on YouTube. So watch out for it. That's the new change that is coming to me. So you have Culture Shock with Pashos on YouTube. I'll be using a fancy name, not over to you, my brother, as to try to round up today.
Well, that's it. I think we've gone way over time and we should just run it up at this point. Yeah.
Right, right, right. So thank you so much. So my brother, whatever is coming up, the year is almost coming to an end anyway. It's a good time to start getting ready for what we want to do next year. So my brother will maybe sharing, Ito will be sharing what he has up coming up for us as we go along in our following broadcast. So I want to thank everybody. Any final words for today's broadcast, my brother?
Well, we have there to change. Change is inevitable. Change must happen. Be ready for it. Embrace it. Grow by it. Grow through it, and then you will be fulfilled through change. That's the only way. And I sign off with that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much on behalf of all members of the Africa Changers Forum. I want to thank everybody that showed up online today, live watching us. I want to thank every one of you, as I did earlier. This has been a wonderful broadcast today. Changes. Go back, watch it, share with your friends, share on all platforms. I am your host, Shola Dele, on behalf of Africa Changers from my brother Ito in London, England. And for all those of you that have watched, please share. We want to wish you a great week ahead, and we'll see you same time on the same channel. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.